Meow, 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 meow. Oh, hi. These are two cute little cold porcelain kitty cats that I made, and they are playing in this little island here. As you can see, I've been very inspired by the game Animal Crossing lately. This is one of my favorite characters, Rosie, and this is a picture I took of her, and this is my little avatar here. And today I'm going to make a little cold porcelain sculpture of this little bear named Pico. In my previous video that I did last Tuesday, I walked you through some of the steps, or all of the steps you need to make cold porcelain. Cold porcelain is mainly white Elmer school glue and cornstarch. And as you can see, I made a lot of colors. So I'm just going to study Pico here for a minute. And she's kind of like a pale cream color around her face. Her ears are white, and then she's got some sort of burgundy and some pink. I did in the comment section for materials list an optional material for googly eyes, which I think are really fun. But I've noticed that, as you kind of play your character, their expressions change, and sometimes their eyes are different shapes. So sometimes it can also be kind of fun to draw these like different shaped eyes that you don't see googly eyes shaped that way. So that's an option. And that's what I'm going to do today, because Pico's got these like really pretty shaped eyes, and I've never seen a googly eye with that shape before. So I'm going to draw her eyes. I'm kind of doing a 3 marker challenge just because I'm going to try and make her other colors out of the cold porcelain, but here's kind of a burgundy color. This is going to be the black that I used to outline her facial features, and then this is going to be the color I use to do her irises. And it's kind of like a bold teal color. So you will need, aside from the cold porcelain that you can make following the recipe in my previous video, you will need some scissors. I have some glitter glue, but you can use any kind of glue with like an applicator tip. And I'm sure if you've used this, you know it does dry pretty clear, and the glitter is just super fun. Speaking of glitter glue, this is Nan Cat, who, if you're old like me, you'll remember Nan Cat from like the early 2000s, and these are her googly eyes. Her body is Pop-Tart, and as you can see, to make the sprinkles on her Pop-Tart body, I used the glitter glue, and it's clear, but it's really sparkly and fun. So Nan Cat's going to hang out over here with Rosie, and I'm going to pull out some different colors. So this is the plain color of the cold porcelain if you just don't add any food coloring to it. All of these colors of cold porcelain I got using just different mixtures of primary colors that you get in like a regular box of food coloring. So I'm going to really focus on the shape of her head first. And you will also, if I didn't say, you will also need some toothpicks. That will really help kind of hold the different parts of your cute animal's body together, like arms and legs, and I probably use a little tiny piece of the toothpick for her ears. So I kind of make her shape, I'm going to shape her head first. And actually, I'm going to get a little bit of this yellow color that I made, and this is just like 1 drop of yellow food coloring, and I'm going to mix it in to kind of give this kind of that creamy color and you can just kind of fold it in, and that's how you can mix the color and get whatever color you want. You just gotta kind of knead. It's really fun. You can watch it kind of like change color as you fold the colors together and just kind of like knead it together. And then I'm just gonna kind of roll it into the shape of her head. And Pico is a little bear. So I'm going to make it kind of round, and then I'm going to add, for the muzzle of the bear's mouth, I'm going to add a little dab of this white again, and then for her ears as well. And her hair I'm going to draw on with the black marker, because if you've ever mixed anything with food coloring, you know it's really difficult to get black. So I am going to focus on the shape of her face and just kind of like try to smooth out the lumps that I kind of created as best I can. And then you kind of at some point you want to stop squishing it together, because you will get some creases in your clay, your cold porcelain here. And if you just kind of rub it gently, it does kind of like smooth back into itself. So I'm going to start with a sort of a round shape, and then I'm going to make her ears first. So you need 2 little balls the same size of the white colored cold porcelain. And you want to get them pretty close to the same size. The thing I really like about working with this material is that if you kind of like leave it in the sealed bag, it kind of re-moisturizes itself, and then you can also add more baby oil to it at any point, just to kind of help keep your clay moist longer. So I'm going to sort of start sculpting the shape for the ears, and I'm going to use my little finger and just make a depression to make the inside of the ear shape, so it's got kind of that ear shape. And then I'm going to do that with this one too. And then I'm going to take my toothpick and I'm going to break off a couple of pieces. Because the ears are like really small and thin, I'm going to use just the pointier end of the toothpick, and you want to put it into the base here. And it really helps if you add a little bit of glue to the toothpick. It will really help it stick. This is a super fun sculpting project I'm really excited about. Alright. And you can just kind of smooth in the glue dollop. And do the same thing with the other ear. You add the toothpick to the base. And it does take about a good 6 hours or so for the cold porcelain to start to dry. So you want to be able to have a place where it will be kind of out of the reach of anything that you might, like anything that might bump up against it in your home. So those are her ears, and I'm going to add the muzzle of her mouth. And then it will dry fully after about a day, like 24 hours, and then it's pretty like dry at that point. So I'm just gonna flatten this out a little bit, but I'm gonna leave it still very round. So it has like that three-dimensional characteristic that you don't necessarily see on the image. You can kind of play with it, you know, and just really make it stand out. This glitter is just super fun. Alright, and then I'm gonna like kind of round it in on its shape here. And I'm gonna save the decorating with the markers for last, because I want to give the different shapes plenty of time to kind of like hold together. The glue, because you're sticking such small pieces together, it stays pretty well, especially since it is such a similar material to what it's made out of. Like, I know this is like a gel base, but because this is Elmer's glue and this is also made with Elmer's glue, it works really well to hold together. So I'm going to make her arms first, and I'm gonna make like her arms connected in kind of like one piece, and it's basically going to be one little coil that's going to be both of her arms, because I find that they hold together a lot better if you do it that way versus like trying to attach individual arms. And then you have fewer toothpicks kind of going through into the body of your little sculpture character, and it's just easier to work with that way. And this is going to be too much, so I'm going to really, I'm trying to really stick with the like sort of accentuated like sculptural shape of this character. She's so cute, and it's a really fun game that just like gives me a lot of just like sort of relaxation. And so her arms are just going to be kind of cute and short. Actually, I can probably make them a little bit longer because you don't want them to be totally lost in her body, which is going to be the next piece. So I'm just going to use, actually I'm going to use pink. I'm going to use this pink color for her body. I'm also going to add, like at the end, sort of, I'm going to add like her hands are pink and she's got pink cheeks, so I'm going to add pink to her cheeks as well instead of using, this is like a darker color. And she's wearing a cute little blouse there. Then I'm still going to decorate with a darker burgundy color. But this is just like a really simple, fun shape. So it's going to be, her body is going to be kind of like narrow on the top and kind of wider at the bottom, kind of like a tiny little pear. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to add actually another coil so that it looks like her jacket is covering her shoulders. And I'm going to make this like really thin. You can kind of just like shape it with your fingertips. Okay, I like that. So I'm gonna add actually some glue to that. First, I'm gonna make sure that it wraps all the way around my coil. That's gonna be her arms, and it's pretty much perfect. Come on, glue, you can do it. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little line of glue in the middle there, and that will be more than enough. Just kind of roll it so that it covers my coil. And now I'm going to take, it's a good thing I have a longer, actually I'm going to take another toothpick and I'm going to use like a bigger section that's like almost half, but I want it because it's got to go through the arms. Part of it has to go into the body and part of it has to go into the head if I want it to be connected very well. And you know, so I'm just gonna break off like a little piece like that, and then you have these like kind of fibers you can kind of trim with your scissors so it's a little bit more even. So I'm going to start with the arms and I'm going to stick the toothpick through the arms and I'm going to put it about halfway through, and then I'm going to add a little bit of dab of glue on the top and on the bottom so that it connects really well with the other body parts. And I gotta open this again. It's a good idea to keep your glue bottle closed when you're not using it so it doesn't dry out, but then you gotta remember to open it again. There, that looks good. So I'm going to attach Pico's head to her arms, and then I'm going to attach her body to this portion of the toothpick, like this. And just give it a good amount, and I'm going to kind of do that so it just sticks really well. And I'm going to push it up a little bit more into the head so that it doesn't come out the bottom. I'm just kind of judging. That looks like it'll be good. And it helps to make sure that it goes through her torso if you just kind of twist it a little bit as you push it in. And there she is from the waist up. Now I'm going to add her legs. So her legs are a little bit wider and thicker than her arms, and I'm going to make them pretty short. And you can't see it in this picture, but I know she has a little round puffball tail, so I'm going to add that too. So I think this is going to be a good leg. Oh, that piece is kind of crumbly. I'm going to add that back in. I'm going to kind of take a nice soft piece from the middle of the white here. The good thing about making the clay, the cold porcelain ahead of time is that it really has time to sort of become like well mixed. Like the longer you let it sit, I notice the better it is to work with. And I'm going to give her, let's see, so it's wider on the top and narrower on the bottom. And I'm going to kind of taper it in so that it attaches to her body. And then I'm going to use the round part of my knuckle here so that it has like this nice little indent that'll attach really nicely to the round part of her, where her hip would be. And I'm just going to let that sit, and I'm going to shape the other leg, and hopefully they can match, because it's nice having legs that match. Alright, that looks good. I find it's always easier the second time because you kind of build that muscle memory in your fingers. And these look pretty good. So I'm going to add toothpick. I'm going to take this toothpick and break it in half, and it's pretty even. And I'm going to trim this little piece of toothpick fiber. And now I'm going to add a little dot of glue. To one end of the toothpick here. And actually I'm going to leave my glue on its side so that it doesn't travel all the way to the bottom of the container every time. It's just like a nice little gluing hack. And actually, if I put the toothpick in kind of at an angle to the leg, so it's like if you hold it vertically, then you've got the indent that's gonna like accept the round part of her body, and it's gonna go in like that. So I'm gonna add a little drop of glue here, and I can be kind of generous with this glue. And I didn't add very much to the other one, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. But it's like this nice little blob of glue, and it's glittery, so that makes me happy. Who doesn't love glitter? I have no idea. Alright, there's more glue, yay! And now I'm going to take her leg and kind of push it into her body so she has a leg. Yeah, legs. And then at this point, the sculpture is going to be pretty fragile, so I'm just going to start drawing her features on, and I'm going to add her little puffball tail after I've drawn on some of her features. So this is going to be her little tail, and I'm just going to set that off to the side, and I'm going to make sure that all of my little bags of cold porcelain are sealed, because that's all the sculpting I'm going to do with that. Put these off to the side. This part of the process is like very minimal when it comes to garbage, because you reuse, like I have a lot of like these little tiny pieces of toothpick from breaking out toothpicks for these guys, and so I could have used them, but I save them. You never know. Sometimes you want like a little bit of a longer piece, sometimes you want a little bit of a shorter piece. You really never know. Alright, so Pico has a little kind of flower-shaped pink ring around both of her ears. So I'm going to draw that first with this fun sparkly burgundy color. I'm just going to go like this. And I'm going to do it twice because that's nice. Yay, symmetry. And now I'm going to start to add her bangs. And they're like really cute, kind of like that. And the side of her hair. And then it goes around the back of her head. And I'm just going to keep using that sort of flower pattern that I used around her ears because I think it's cute And then I'm just gonna color it all in so she has some really pretty thick black hair. And I'm gonna go around the pink flower shape around her ears a little bit more carefully so I don't mess up that cute pattern. Alright, now I can kind of start filling in the rest. So I'm actually gonna sort of stand her up in my fingertips just so that she kind of stays together a little bit better. And this clay is really soft, so you gotta have a really nice gentle touch with this part. Oh, Pico, you're so cute. I really like that sort of iridescent. It's more of a pink. And I'm just gonna fill in, and I kind of lost the shape of her bangs, so I'm gonna fill that. I'm gonna add that back in a minute once I get the rest of this. Oh, her leg is kind of, her legs feel like a bird. So I'm gonna hold her like this so she stays together a little bit better. And she's dancing. Oh, alright, I'll add that back on in a minute. Probably would have been smarter to finish decorating her whole head before I put her together, but this project is just so exciting and I jumped ahead. There we go. Yeah, see, this toothpick piece isn't quite long enough. I'm going to find this longer one in this bag, and that'll work a lot better. I'm glad I saved it. It's kind of random, but when you work with things like that, you kind of realize that you're going to need them again. And I'm going to get more glue on here. All right. Good job. Good job, me. All right. Now her legs are back together again. And her arms are there, and now I'm going to draw on her eyes and her nose and her mouth. So the eyes are this really cool shape. Oh, I'm going to fix her bangs real quick. I forgot. This is just really exciting to me. Okay. There. Alright, now she's going to get some eyes. And I got to study that shape. It's like a really fun shape. And I'm gonna fill this in, and I'm gonna leave a little bit of white in the middle so it looks like a reflection. And then I'm gonna get this turquoise color for her iris. She's so cute. All right, and now I'm gonna add her nose and her mouth. Yay! And she's kind of got a pink mouth, so I'm going to add the pink into her mouth here. And that looks really cute. She's so cute. Alright, and what other details can I add? Oh yeah, the pink cheeks and then the tail. So to do the pink cheeks, I'm going to take a couple of little dabs of the pink cold porcelain. And I'm just going to be really tiny. And then, I'm going to do her hands and feet as well, because those are also pink. Really tiny. So these are going to be her little cheeks. So I've got two matching little ovals, and I'm going to smush them flat to be the rosy part of her cheeks. And I'm going to make them oval shaped. And I'm going to add a little dot of glue. That's a little bit more than I need. That's just right. It's okay. It'll dry. There we go. There we go. Alright. That's pretty even. And now I'm going to do her hands and her feet. So I'm going to need two matching little pieces to be her hands. And so that it fits nice into the indent here, I'm just going to sort of press it in first. So it has like a little impression from her arm, and then I'm going to do that with the other side. And add another dot of glue. One, two, three, stick for me. 1, 2, 3, 4 sticks more. And now she's got a hand. Two, three, stick for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, stick some more. Now she's got two hands. And these ones are going to be more like flat. And now she's got one foot. Just like putting on shoes. And now I'm going to do her little cute tail. She's a bear. She's a cute little Pico bear. couple more details for her blouse. Just really like this pink shimmery marker. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to call her done. Oh, hi Pico. Oh, hi Rosie. Oh, let's be best friends. Okay. And that is the end of this cold porcelain cute animal sculpture project. I hope you liked it. If you happen to make one yourself, please post a picture in the comments. I would love to see. And that's it for Cap at Home today. I'll see you next week, and I hope you tune in Thursday. We've got some really cool stuff. Have a good day.